My name is Elena. For years, I've been living in a house that looked perfect from the outside. White walls, tidy garden, a smiling couple in family photos. But inside, those same walls had heard more screams than laughter, and more apologies than love. When people saw us at parties, they called us the ideal couple. He was charming, confident, successful, my husband Ryan, and I was quiet, polite, always smiling, the kind of woman who hides bruises beneath long sleeves and makeup. At first, I didn't even realize it was abuse. It started small, the yelling, the controlling, the checking my phone. Then came the insults, the "you're worthless and no one else would ever want you." And when I tried to leave once, he cried, begged, said he'd change. He brought flowers, and for a few weeks, I believed him. But monsters don't turn into angels just because they say sorry. One evening, after dinner, I said something simple, that I wanted to visit my mother for her birthday. That's all it took. His face darkened. His voice dropped to that tone I feared. And before I could even move, I felt the back of his hand across my face. I hit the floor, dizzy. The last thing I remember before blacking out was him whispering, "You made me do this." When I woke up, I wasn't in my house. I was in a hospital bed, an IV in my arm, my head pounding. Ryan was sitting beside me holding my hand. His face was pale, eyes red. He looked scared, but not of losing me. No, he was scared that someone might find out the truth. The nurse entered and smiled kindly. "Mrs. Carter, you're lucky he brought you here when he did," she said. "He told us you slipped down the stairs." I froze. Slipped down the stairs, Ryan smiled and nodded. "Yes, she's always a little clumsy," he said softly, squeezing my hand, as if we were lovers, not prisoner and captor. I wanted to scream, to tell them everything. But when I turned my head slightly, I saw his eyes, sharp, cold, warning me to stay silent. And so I did, because I knew what would happen if I didn't. Later that night, when the nurse left and the hallway lights dimmed, he leaned close and whispered, "You embarrassed me once. Don't do it again." A single tear slid down my cheek. And in that moment, I realized I wasn't just hurt. I was trapped. I closed my eyes and made myself a promise. If I ever walked out of that hospital alive, I would never come back to that house again. Because sometimes, the only way to survive love is to stop loving the wrong person. The next morning, sunlight crept through the blinds, painting pale lines across the white bedsheets. I woke up with a dull pain in my ribs and a heavy ache in my chest. Ryan was asleep in the chair beside me, his hand still holding mine, like a snake pretending to be harmless. I turned my face away. I didn't want to see him, not after everything. That's when the door opened quietly. A nurse, a middle-aged woman with kind eyes, stepped in. Her name tag read Nurse Clara. She smiled softly, but her eyes told a different story. She had seen this before, too many times. "Good morning, Elena," she whispered. "How are you feeling?" My lips trembled. "I'm okay," I lied. Her eyes flicked toward Ryan, still asleep. Then back to me. "Does it hurt when you breathe?" she asked carefully. I nodded. She lowered her voice. "You have bruises, older ones. Not from yesterday." My throat tightened. I tried to look away, but she gently placed a hand over mine. "You don't have to say anything," she said softly. "Just know that you're safe here." Safe. The word felt strange. I hadn't felt safe in years. Before I could respond, Ryan stirred. Clara straightened up immediately, her face turning neutral, the mask of professionalism returning. "Good morning, Mr. Carter," she said politely. "Your wife will recover soon." Ryan smiled, that fake, charming smile of his. "That's a relief. She's always been a bit fragile." He laughed lightly. Clara didn't. As she left, she gave me one last look, a look that said, "I know." Ryan's phone rang. He stepped out to take the call, leaving his jacket on the chair. My heart started racing. This was my chance. I looked around. The hallway outside was quiet. I grabbed the notepad from the table and quickly scribbled something down. Then I slipped the note under my bedsheet, hoping Nurse Clara would find it. Just as I hid it, Ryan walked back in. His smile was gone. "Who were you writing to?" he asked sharply. My stomach dropped. He walked closer, eyes narrowing. I forced a shaky smile. "I was just journaling," I said. "They told me it might help my recovery." He stared at me for a long second before smirking. "You don't need a journal, Elena. You need to remember who takes care of you." I said nothing because I knew what he meant. And I knew the walls in this hospital couldn't protect me forever. Nurse Clara entered quietly. She looked around, saw Ryan asleep again, and leaned closer to me. "I found your note," she whispered. My breath caught. Her hand gently touched my arm. "There's a women's shelter nearby," she said softly. "If you can keep him here one more night, I'll help you leave tomorrow morning." Tears filled my eyes. For the first time in years, I felt a tiny spark of hope. "Thank you," I mouthed. Clara smiled faintly. "Rest now. Tomorrow will be the beginning of your new life." She turned to leave. But as she reached the door, I saw Ryan's reflection in the glass window, his eyes open. He had heard everything. My heart stopped. He slowly sat up, his gaze locked on me. The smile returned to his face, cold and cruel. "Going somewhere, sweetheart?" he whispered. His voice sent chills through my spine. "Going somewhere, sweetheart?" Ryan's tone was calm, too calm. The kind of calm that comes before a storm. I froze. Every instinct in my body screamed at me to stay still, to not show fear. He stood up slowly, eyes fixed on me. His shadow stretched across the hospital floor like a dark memory I could never escape. "You think I didn't notice?" he whispered. "Your little notes, your fake tears, the way you look at that nurse?" He took a step closer. The light from the window hit half his face, the loving husband everyone knew. And the other half, hidden in darkness, was the monster only I had seen. "I've done everything for you, Elena," he said. "I gave you a home, a life. And you repay me with betrayal?" My heart pounded. I wanted to shout that all I ever wanted was peace. But words were useless with him. He leaned closer. "Tomorrow morning, we're leaving. You'll tell the nurse you're feeling fine. And when we get home, we'll talk." I knew what talk meant. It meant pain. It meant fear. It meant another night wishing I hadn't survived the last one. He sat back in his chair, pretending to be calm again. Within minutes, his breathing slowed, pretending to sleep. But I knew he was watching me through his lashes. I turned my head toward the window, blinking back tears. Outside, the city lights twinkled, every window representing a life, a story, a freedom I didn't have. And then I saw her, across the hallway through the reflection on the glass, Nurse Clara. She was standing outside, pretending to check the clipboard, but her eyes were on me. She gave a small nod. It was quick, but I understood. "Hold on." Ryan's phone buzzed. He stirred, grunted, and stepped out of the room to take the call. My chance. I quietly swung my legs over the bed, pain shooting through my ribs. Every movement burned, but I didn't care. I reached for my bag and slipped my ID and a few notes of cash into my gown pocket. The door opened slightly. It was Nurse Clara. She whispered, "Now follow me." We moved quickly down the dim corridor, my bare feet cold against the floor. Every step felt like walking through fire, not from the pain, but from fear. At any moment, I expected to hear his voice again. Clara led me to a side exit. A kind security guard was waiting. He nodded at Clara and handed me a jacket. "There's a car waiting outside," he said. "It'll take you somewhere safe." I wanted to cry, to thank them both, but before I could, a voice echoed from behind us. "Elena!" I froze. "Ryan!" He was running down the hallway, his footsteps echoing like thunder. His face was twisted with rage. "Don't you dare leave me," he shouted. The guard stepped forward, blocking his path. "Sir, you need to calm down. Get out of my way." Ryan roared. He shoved the guard aside and lunged forward. I stumbled back, terrified, clutching Clara's hand. "Go!" she shouted. "Run!" I ran. My feet hit the cold tiles, the door slammed open, and the night air hit my face like freedom itself. I could hear him shouting behind me, his voice breaking through the darkness. "Elena, you'll regret this." I didn't look back. For the first time in years, I didn't look back. The driver, an older woman with kind eyes, looked at me through the mirror. "You're safe now," she said gently. "We'll take you to the shelter." I couldn't stop shaking. My ribs ached. My heart was pounding. But deep down, something had changed. For the first time, the air didn't feel like prison bars. It felt like possibility. I looked out the window at the dark road ahead and whispered to myself, "This time, I'm not going back." But deep down, I knew it wasn't over yet, because men like Ryan don't let go easily. The first few days at the shelter felt unreal. The silence was different there, not the heavy silence of fear, but the gentle kind that lets you breathe again. The women there didn't ask questions. They just smiled, smiles that carried their own stories of pain and survival. Each one of them had faced a storm and somehow found their way here. Nurse Clara visited once. She brought me flowers, simple daisies, and a small card that read, "Those 4 words made me cry harder than I had in years, because for the first time, I actually believed them." I got a small job at a community center. I worked quietly, helping with paperwork, talking to people who came for counseling. Every time I spoke to a woman with trembling hands or bruises hidden beneath long sleeves, I saw a piece of myself in her eyes. I started therapy. At first, I could barely say his name, but over time, I learned something I never knew before, that healing isn't about forgetting what happened. It's about forgiving yourself for staying too long in the fire. The counselor once asked me, "If you could say one thing to your past self, what would it be?" And I said, "I'd tell her she didn't deserve the pain. She deserved peace." But peace doesn't come easily. Sometimes it tests you. One afternoon, after work, I was walking to my bus stop when I saw him, Ryan, standing across the street watching me. He looked different, unshaven, tired, desperate. But those eyes still carried the same control, the same quiet rage. My heart froze, but my feet didn't move, not this time. He crossed the road slowly, his hands in his pockets. "Elena," he said softly, "you look different." "I am different," I replied, my voice calm but firm. He tried to smile. "I've changed too," he said. "I went to counseling. I realized what I did was wrong. I just want to talk." Maybe before I would have believed him, but now I could see the manipulation hiding behind every word. I shook my head. "No, Ryan, you don't want to talk. You want control, and I'm done giving it to you." His smile vanished. "You think you can just walk away from me?" I looked him straight in the eye. "I already did." He took a step closer, but a voice interrupted. "Is there a problem here, ma'am?" It was a police officer, one of the ones who regularly patrolled near the shelter. Ryan froze. His mask of confidence cracked for the first time. I looked at the officer and said calmly, "No problem, officer. Just someone from my past learning to stay there." Ryan's eyes darkened. He muttered something under his breath and walked away. I watched him disappear into the crowd, a shadow fading back into the place it came from. Spring sunlight fills a small park. Children laugh in the background. Elena sits on a bench, writing in her journal. The pages are filled with hope, with moments of peace, morning walks, new friends, volunteering, laughter she thought she'd never find again. Her voice narrates softly. She closes her notebook and looks up at the sky. The same sky she once prayed under, asking for a way out, now feels like a promise, wide, endless, free. She smiles softly, a real smile this time. And for the first time in years, Elena feels alive.